Okay, this video is going to very briefly go over the area of carpentry, and we're not going to do a whole lot right now. We'll get into some more detail later. But the main thing that we're talking about here is the cost to do any kind of renovation on a house, build a new house, do an addition to a house, that kind of thing. Usually, a carpenter will come up with the cost based on how many square feet you're going to be putting together. So the book says that new residential construction is estimated at about $80 per square foot, and a renovation or an addition or tearing a kitchen apart and redoing it is estimated at about $100 per square foot. Now in Alaska, that is way, way off. So we're going to just kind of look at some things. So for example, I've got a house here that's for sale on realty.com, and this is in Soldotna. And a couple things I want you to notice here. Here is the cost of the house. And this is a little bit of detail about it. It is 2350 square feet, so it's a pretty good size house as far as I'm concerned. It's a single family house, has a one-car garage, and it was built in 1975. But here is the focus of what we're doing here. It is $196 per square foot if you buy that house. And it kind of gives you an idea when you're looking at various houses here, as far as looking at this price is one thing. But one of the things that we need to deal with is not only this price, but how many square feet is it? Is this a good price for this many square feet? And is it a good price compared to other houses that may be bigger or smaller, that kind of thing? And that's where the $196 comes in. This gives you an idea when you're looking at several houses on which one is the most expensive. So for example, let me bring this one over here and bring up another one in Soldotna. And there's that one there. Oh, let's make it bigger here. And let's look at what we've got here. Again, it's $299,900. It's 2464 square feet, which is, let me move this over a little bit so we can compare. Yeah, make that one a little bigger. Okay. So this one's 2464. This is 2350. So it's about 100 square feet larger, so about a 10 foot by 10 foot room more here. We're not going to worry about the land size, but we're going to look at, it was built the same year, and it has a 2-car garage compared to a 1, but look at the square footage here. It is $122 per square foot, which means that it is a lot cheaper than this one. Now, yes, this price here and this price here, there's quite a difference here in the price, and it could be that this house here is a lot nicer than this one, but you kind of go with what you can afford. So even though this one is $196 per square foot, this one is $122 per square foot. So this way, you can compare the price of both houses rather than looking at this total cost here. You get a better idea of which one is the better value, because a lot of times the price will be very similar and one is a lot bigger than the other, but what is the price per square foot? And just to, let's get this stuff out of the way here, just to give you an idea of what a square foot is. It is a square, sorry, my lines are not very straight, that's bad. A square foot is a part of the house that's 1 foot long by 1 foot wide. And 1 foot times 1 foot is 1, and that's 1 square foot. And a lot of people write 1 square feet as this. Some people write it as foot, and they put a 2 up here. So 1 square foot, or 1 foot squared, same thing. So anyway, what we're looking here at is, for example, number 1, Charles Tamian. He's a carpenter, and he submits an estimate to build a 24 by 30 foot addition to a house. So it's going to be around 24 by 30. When you use the word by, 24 by 30, the symbol for by is a time sign, which helps because that's what we're doing. We're multiplying 24, the width here, by the length, and that gives you how many 1 foot squares are within this area here. So if you took that and divided it up into 1 foot squares, you would get 720 of those 1 foot squares. I'm going to put. So we got 720 square feet. That's how much of an addition that we're going to put onto this house. This is saying that the cost is $80 per square foot. And we need to find out how much it's going to cost us then to build this thing. So we're going to take the $80 per square foot, multiply it by 720, since there's 720 of those square foots, and we're going to get a number of 57,600. So that's how somebody that's going to build an addition to a house, that's how they're going to find out how much they're going to charge you. They're going to include materials, and they're also going to include their labor costs with that. And that's where this amount comes from. Then they multiply it by how big you want the addition, and then it's going to give this price. Now, for the most part, when you do add an addition to the house, if you are adding a bathroom or you're doing something in the kitchen, so bath and kitchen, that is generally going to be a lot more expensive than if you do a bedroom or a living room or a dining room or a study or something like that. Can you come up with an idea of why a bathroom or a kitchen might be more expensive? Well, we've got a lot more electrical to deal with, and probably the big thing would be the plumbing. So if you are adding, I'm sorry, my writing is so terrible on this iPad. If you are adding a kitchen, let's say, you've got a refrigerator, a stove, a dishwasher, sinks, the water supply, you've got a lot more electrical, you've got a lot more fancy outlets that protect you from getting shocked because of the water access in a kitchen. And the same is true with a bathroom. You've got a shower, which is expensive, your toilet, your sinks, your water supply, and your electrical in there as well. So a lot more cost involved because you're dealing with water protection behind the shower walls, just a lot of things there that are going to add to the price. So anyway, example 2, they're talking about board feet. We're going to skip that. I've built several houses, and I've never had to deal with board feet. So we're going to skip that section there. And we'll call that good for the carpentry, and I'll talk just a couple minutes on the practice on page 41 in the next video.